Good evening, everyone. Cheers. Nothing quite tastes like the first one, does it? I say that every week, but it's true every week. For those that are interested, that is the tipple of choice this evening. The fat and bald lad is on the Heineken again. It's still on offer in Morrison's, our local supermarket, so I thought, why not? Right. As usual, there is no plan for what I'm going to talk about tonight. I will be, as always, relying upon just responding to what's going on in the chat. And, you know me by now, I tend to go off on a tangent sometimes, but, it seems to work. Let's see who is in. Who have we got in? Let's do the register. Who gets the brownie points for being first in? Chip Young gets the brownie points for being first in. And then Wilson Jones. Oh, let's put that up on the screen, actually. Any tips for beginners over 50s? Just want to accompany myself singing. Thanks. Yeah, just give it a go, mate. Just give it a go. You will find it probably, if you've never played before, you'll probably find it harder than you think it's going to be. But the steepest part of the learning curve is right at the beginning. So just keep at it. And every time you're finding something difficult, I guarantee that everybody else, every kind of guitar god that you see on stage, the Satrianis and the Knopflers and the insert name of guitar player here, Gary Moore, they all found exactly the same things that you're finding difficult. They found them difficult too. And, just saying, if you know anybody who's, been a well-established guitar teacher for 30 years with reasonable rates, just saying, Anyway, who else we got in? Mr. Wrong and Wilson Jones. I mentioned you already, didn't I? Oh, thank you for congratulating me on 5 million views. I did get that notification from YouTube. I have no idea. Is that good? It's a big number, but is for the size of the channel, 23,000 and a bit subscribers. Is that a good number of you? I have no idea. I don't have no benchmark to compare it against. Who else have we got in? We've got Luke's in. We've got Phil, Craig Stamen, evening Craig, Johnny Random, Vincent Brennan, Robert Zed, and have we got CGS in? I didn't see if he was in. Maybe he's in later down in the chat. Peter Collins, Stephen Tatton, Steve B, David Evans, Robster Boy. How are you, Robert? Cal B, Anton, and Edwin Toonan, and all the usual names I seem to read out every week, don't I? Cal B, and who else? Let's scroll down. Ian Clark's in, and John Ross, Chris Otterwell, Colin Falcon, my mate Colin there, the Telecaster man, the Essex Cat, and Bass at Night, Rob Bald, Paul Trainer, resident bass player. Who else we got? David Collins, Dr. Gomez, Kieran Roberts, Jimmy James, Milk Shakespeare, Truman Yule, Frank Bolam, and Das Schaff, and I think that's everybody. Lawrence Hastings and Phil B. If I've missed you off, it's because I was scrolling down rather quick because I don't want to just the entire live stream. It'd be me just reading out who's in the chat. So, as usual, as I said, there's no plan, although there is something that I need to get out the way tonight. So shall we get that out the way at the moment? We have a prize draw going on here. It's been going on for a while. Basically, a little box of goodies here, which has been very, very generously donated by Dan at Scott Guitars. Basically, I'm sure you all know, but for anybody who's new to the channel or new to the live stream, or anybody watching on Catch Up, hello, if you're watching on Catch Up, by the way. I support a local charity around here called Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, which does very good work for very seriously ill kids. And Dan at Scott Guitars donated some rather nice kit, starting off with this. This is a fantastic pedal. You see it in many of my videos, or you hear it in many of my videos. the Sonicake Twiggy Blues. You've got compression, lovely sounding overdrive, delay and reverb. Oh, and a cabinet simulator as well. Really simple to use and a good range of usable tones. Also, there is this Behringer tube amp modeler, which apparently is a clone of some Sans amp pedal, the Tech 21 stuff. That is a really nice pedal for overdrive tones. I can attest to that. And let's say you want to record all this stuff. You'll need an interface to hook it all to your computer. The Behringer U40, a great little interface. I use it myself all the time. And all you had to do to be in with a chance of winning that bundle of goodies there was make a donation to Zoe's Place. Some people did it via the super chat here, and I then passed the money on to Zoe's Place. Or you could donate via their website and email me a screenshot of your receipt. And everybody who donated in those ways has got their names written on a little bit of paper, and they're all in. Let me see if I can hold. There we go. All those bits of paper are in that bag there. Let's give them a good old shake up and pick a winner. So the person who will be receiving that little bundle of goodies there, let's have a rummage around and see what we've got. There we go. So a bit of paper here. I will. Okay. There is the winner. It is. I don't know if you can see that. No, it's not showing up on screen. Let me go back a bit now. The winner is James Stanway, who is one of my students. That is not a fix, I promise you. But it is a bit convenient for me because it means he can pick it up next time he's here for a lesson. But just to show you that all, the names are all different. Tell you what, let's do a runner-up prize as well. Let's just shake this up. Here we go. The runner-up prize, I have just decided, will be another Behringer tube amp modeler, because I've got this one. Frankly, I bought it to do a review of. I'm not going to use it again. So the runner-up prize, let's have a good old shake around. James Stanway wins the star prize, and the runner-up is Ian Clark. Ian, you've just won yourself a nice little pedal there, mate. The Behringer tube amp modeler. So give me an email. You know where to find my email address, and you just send me an email with your postal address, and I will get the pedal on its way to you. So that's that little formality over with. Congratulations, and thank you once again to Dan at Scott Guitars, and congratulations to Ian and to James for the for getting those nice little prizes. So what we've been talking about in the chat while I've been doing all of that, a lot of you congratulating. Thought you were a guitarist, not a fiddler. Indeed, yes. Where are we? Nice prize, congratulations, says Robster Boy. And I guess you've all just been... Oh, Dan's in, Dan from Scott Guitars. He must have snuck in while I was doing that. Yes, indeed. Anyway, round about this time of the evening, it's customary to tell you what's going to be coming up on the channel this week. And I think I forgot last week. I forgot to tell you what was on the Sunday video, but I'll not forget this week. So let's start off with Sunday's video. It's basically another Telecaster review style thing. Colin, who is in the chat there, Colin Falcon, lives just a few minutes walk away from me, and he popped round the other day with a guitar for me to try out. It's an Artist something or other. Basically, I forget. I hate it. Don't you hate it? Like when guitar companies give their guitars a model number. I can never remember those. It's just give it a name. Even if you're just calling it the Allen or the Dave or something like that. I can remember that, but if it's just a string of letters and numbers, I always have a problem with that. So, yeah, Colin lent me this lovely twin humbucker Telecaster, which, as you know, I have a bit of a penchant for twin humbucker Telecasters. This is usually the point where I reach over and grab Blondie, my signature guitar, but it's behind me at the moment, so I can't reach it. Yeah, a nice artist twin humbucker Telecaster, 150 quid. And let me tell you, it's a guitar that... well, it gets the old noggin jogging. It really does. It's certainly worth every penny of that, and you can find out why on Sunday. Then on Monday, as is usual, we have a solo analysis, and this is one of the ones, and this kind of shows you the sort of time, the lead time on this. This was a solo that was requested right here on the live stream before Christmas by, I don't know if he's in tonight, a chap called Colm. I think that's how he's pronounced, Colm. He usually crops up at some point in the comments section or in the live chat. And he requested a Kiss solo. So on Monday we will be looking at the solo from the Kiss song 100,000 Years. Then on Tuesday it's a top 5, as is always the case, and this is going to be one of these where you're going to need to, go and make yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or something and sit down and just enjoy the ride, because I've got my pal Steve Hoggett with me on Tuesday, and we're talking about who are, in our opinion, the 5 most influential guitar players and bass players throughout the history of electric guitar and bass playing. So that's a good video, and there's probably 1 or 2 names on there that you might not expect. So that's Tuesday's video. Then Wednesday, we are talking, it's the last in the series of these videos that I've been doing, like last week it was, or this week rather, it was, clowns eat flat garlic, to remember C, E flat G. Basically it's the last in those kind of videos where you're kind of practicing remembering useful things that can help you play. This week we're looking at the cycle of fifths, how you do that, and I want to say a big shout out at this point, because he'll tell me off if I don't do this, to Ian Clark in the chat there, who came up with a fantastic way of remembering it. That was far better than my way of remembering it. So I said, I'm stealing that off you, and you haven't copyrighted it, so I'm having that. So that's Wednesday's video. Then on Thursday, you will see me shopping for the cheapest, not the cheapest electric guitar I've ever bought, but certain, because the Frankenstein Telecaster on the wall there behind me, that was 25 quid. The guitar that started off, that one began life as, that was 25 quid in a charity shop, so it was a used guitar. But on Thursday you're going to see me shopping for the cheapest brand new electric guitar I have ever bought, and the price will make your eyeballs pop. I promise you, it is. It's just, I didn't think it was possible to buy an electric guitar this cheap. And I've already filmed, obviously, me shopping for it. I've filmed the unboxing and I've filmed the review. And well, you'll just have to wait over the next few weeks to see those videos. But it's an eye-opening video. So that's Thursday's video, and then as always, it gets to Friday after that, and we're back on the drink again. Speaking of which, excuse me while I just enjoy a little bit of lubrication here. And that's the first one gone. So everybody, get ready. Get your fingers poised over the letters F, L, A, K, and E, because you're all going to shout the word flake at me. Let's see if I can get a decent head on this, so you can. I see Bottleneck Bob's in. How are you, Bob? I'm doing well, mate. I hope you're doing well. Excuse me, I'd put you up on screen, but I've got both hands full at the moment. This is the thing, you see. I'm sorry to disappoint anybody who wants to shout the word flake at me, but that's not too bad, is it? I'm always getting asked this, and so I feel like I should kind of put this in the live stream every week. The flake reference. It tends to be our American friends who don't get that reference because it's a particularly British thing. Why would you? We have a tradition in the UK of when you buy an ice cream cone, you get a chocolate flake bar stuck in it. And for reasons I've never been able to figure out, it's called a 99. You go to any ice cream seller in the UK and order a 99, you'll get an ice cream cone with a chocolate flake bar stuck in it. So if you get served a pint of beer with a ridiculously large foamy white head on it, your way of expressing your displeasure to the barman is to say, "Can I get a flake in that?" Thereby pointing out that it looks more like an ice cream than a well-poured pint of beer. That's where the flake thing comes. If anybody's confused about that still, so. Oh, let's put you up on screen now, Bob. It's nice to have you back, mate. You've been conspicuous by your absence while you've been away, mate. Don't worry, we've been talking about you, though. But nice to know you're doing well, and you've still got some lessons in the bank with me, mate. So just give me a shout when you want to kick off again. Speaking of people who've got lessons in the bank with me, Das Schaff, your good lady bought you a gift certificate from me, and for some lessons. I've not heard from you, or maybe I have. Maybe I've been teaching you for the past few weeks, and I just don't know that you are Das Schaff when we meet up for lessons. I don't know, but either way, if you still haven't got in touch, get in touch. It's fun. We can chat about guitars, and and I can pass on my wealth of experience, knowledge. I keep thinking, one of these days I'm going to get found out. It's people kind of, it's you've heard of imposter syndrome. I suffer from that really bad. I genuinely do, because someday somebody's going to tumble the fact that I'm just kind of BSing most of the time. That's what it feels like. Anyway, I see Grandpa Joe's in. Let's put you up on screen. Hello, John and everyone. A little late, but wanted to wish you all have a good weekend. It is the weekend, isn't it, Joe? Yes, indeed. I do like to try and keep to a beer on a weekends only rule at the moment, but it's been something of a struggle. The hours I'm putting in at the moment, you would make your teeth itch. I'm not complaining. I am far from it. I'm far from complaining. I love being busy, because I've had the opposite end of the spectrum as well, and that's certainly not fun. But I'm sat here at my desk, either making YouTube videos or tabbing solos out or recording stuff or doing lessons from about 7 a.m. till about 8 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, obviously Friday. I'm doing this. This counts as work, by the way. Yes, because these videos are monetized. So this is legitimate work activity. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's pretty much the same story. So if I get to about 8 p.m. on an evening, I feel I've earned a couple of cans of cheap lager. I really do. And if that's going to shave, a few weeks off the end of my existence further down the line, then you know what? I'll happily take that trade. Let's put you up on screen. I know, John, I've been playing about half an hour per week, what with work and kitchen making. When I start taking lessons, I won't have the time. Oh, fair enough, mate. Well, there's no expiry date, mate, so just get in touch whenever you're good and ready. Oh, thank you, Joe. Let's put you up on screen there. Your hard work is shown by how many viewers here today. Well, thank you. And I just want to say, I haven't mentioned this before, but Joe sent me this rather lovely challenge coin. I put it in this display. I do apologise. It's slipped. This little display frame is supposed to keep it in the centre there. But Joe, you sent me this out of the goodness of your heart, and I thank you so much for that. I will treasure it for always. And knowing that it is, not a particularly commonplace item to own makes it even more special. Thank you so much. Let's see. Drinking beer and bullshit. That's work. Apparently, I seem, it pays the bills every month anyway. Whether or not it's work is debatable, but it's certainly it kind of covers the overheads. So I'm gonna say it is, yes. Here we go. So, are you offsetting the beer against tax? If so, buy premium beer. I don't know. Who was it? Who was the big? I think it might have been someone like Cubby Broccoli. You know, the since departed Bond film movie producer. It was somebody like that, some big media tycoon who managed to convince the UK tax authorities that he could, that his champagne was tax deductible because of, that was part of his persona, and that, he couldn't kind of be seen to be drinking, some like Prosecco or something like that. He had to be seen drinking the good stuff. So, in order to kind of maintain his persona in the circles in which he moved, which was essential to his earnings potential, and somehow managed to get away with it. Yes, indeed. I'm not sure that'd kind of fly these days. Oh, Kieran, you are too kind, mate. John's the best teacher, and by no means at all do I consider an imposter. And hard worker, yes, great teacher, brilliant guitar. Oh, yeah, well, whatever. I am the typical north of England male. I am, yes, I always come over a little bit uneasy when people start being that nice to me. Oh, that's a nice one to know. As you work from home, you can offset £600 a year off tax again for refreshments. Well, that's useful to know. That is just refreshments in general, is it? Okay, well, let me say this is refreshing. I remember Jockey Wilson got a tax break because he could not play darts without copious quantities of lager. I mean, that says Bottleneck Bob. I remember, I'm sure everybody else of a certain age in the UK remembers this one as well. Dexy's Midnight Runners on Top of the Pops. You know where I'm probably going with this now, those of you remember. But they did, they were on Top of the Pops, and when Top of the Pops was on in this is the 80s, and it was their big hit single. I think it was the follow-up to Come On Eileen, and it was Jackie Wilson Says, their cover of that. And, what was it, Van Morrison's song originally, wasn't it? And when the acts were on Top of the Pops in those days, they used to put like a back projection of, that was suitable accompaniment to the song. And some technician at the BBC misheard them, and instead of a back projection of Jackie Wilson, they put Jockey Wilson, the dart player, up, big, leery Scottish bloke with a beer gut and a double chin, holding a pint of beer. Jockey Wilson and Jackie Wilson, easy mistake. Oh, thank you, Bob. That's handy to know. I can offset some heating and phone bill. Well, I do that already. Yes, I did. I tumbled to that a few years ago. Yeah, I see we're all talking about. Oh, Dave Pegg's got a new guitar. What have you got, Dave? Tell us what you got. Is it the good one? Has it arrived yet, or is it still that sort of sense of anticipation? I've just been doing a video about that today, actually. Not about that sense of anticipation that you used to get when you were catching. Well, for me, it was the number 63 bus into Middlesbrough Town Centre to buy a new album. And then waiting at the bus stop for the bus, and then you've got this album that you want to buy, and you go and you get on the bus and you go to the record shop and you buy it, and you get it out the bag and on the bus on the way home, and you're reading the sleeve notes and everything. We miss all that nowadays with just instant music. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that I can just listen to music and have it on demand like that. But I do, when I get my rose-tinted spectacles on, I do kind of get nostalgic for those days. But that kind of feeling is still alive and well, isn't it? When you've clicked add to basket and you've paid for a new guitar online, and then there's the few days where you're kind of rubbing your hands with glee and can't wait for it to turn up. Okay, so Dave Pegg has got himself an Epiphone J200. No, you're not fond of acoustic. I wouldn't say I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not fond of acoustics. It's just that it's not really what I do. I've got an acoustic there behind me, and I use it on a lot of things. But it's just I don't consider myself an aficionado of acoustic guitars to have and have the knowledge and expertise to kind of have an informed opinion, if you like. Oh, Thomas, you're too kind, mate. John, you know, imposter, I'm constantly amazed by the depth of your knowledge about music theory and history. Sorry to embarrass you. Well, what you're saying, whenever I kind of spout off about music theory or, kind of show my inherent music geekiness, what you're witnessing there is the reason why I left school without a single qualification. Because when I was in, kind of a geography class, and I should have been learning the difference between, igneous, alluvial, and sedimentary rock, or what the difference is between an escarpment and whatever else. My head was just full of, kind of patterns on the neck of the guitar, which is, visualizing stuff, which is what these videos I've been doing on a Wednesday have been about lately. It's, rather than thinking about the boring humdrum day-to-day stuff that is just there as part of the everyday working and everyday environment that you're in, just kind of fill your head with useful stuff that's on the guitar. I mean, if you are, at school or at college and you're studying for exams, it's probably not the best advice, but it certainly helped me with my guitar playing. The Geordie guitarist is in a bit late tonight. Well, you're here. Nice to see you, mate. And what? Yes, Ian Clark. John's a good teacher. He doesn't teach Wonderwall. That is one song that it had. I mean, I don't dislike Oasis. I've got a couple of their albums, the first two. But it's just for. Does anybody else feel that for the size of the hit that became, Wonderwall, it's just not one of their better songs by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not. Back when that second album came out, I was in a band, and we were gigging a couple of Oasis songs. One that everybody seems to forget nowadays is "Roll With It." We used to do that, which is a belter of a good old kind of foot stomping rock song. And we used to do a cracking version of that, and it would get like mild applause. And then, just one gig we did, just because I can't remember why we did it, but I think we did it as an encore because we didn't have enough material for encores, and we just did a daft kind of strummed acoustic, strummed on electric guitars version of Wonderwall, with the singer who'd learned like one verse and kept singing that over and over again. And it went down to rapturous applause. I never understood the appeal of that song. I just think they did far, far better songs, and there were far better songs on the album. I never understood why that one became such the hit that it did. Oh, what's that, Dave? I got the new Half Man, Half Biscuit album today on CD. The LPs... Yes, I think you sent me an email about that, mate. I didn't even know Half Man, Half Biscuit was still around. They were sort of as I remember, kind of a novelty kind of indie band from the 80s. That's what I remember them as. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering. Okay, Tony Brown says, since you're wearing a Deep Purple t-shirt, recommendations, their best album. Well, you see, this is where this could end up in fisticuffs, couldn't it? Because I happen to think that the Steve Morse era of Deep Purple, well, it's my favourite era. I'm not going to say the best, but it's my favourite era of the band. If there was one Deep Purple album that I had to that I couldn't live without, it would be a live album. And no, it's not made in Japan. It's the Steve Morse live album, live at the Olympia in '96. That for me is because it's got all of the old kind of favourites on from, you know, the Blackmore days, you know, Smoke on the Water, obviously, and Black Knight, and all the obvious candidates. But it's got you know, the newer stuff on as well. And my favourite Purple song from the new era with Steve Morse has to be Sometimes I Feel Like Screaming, which came off the Perpendicular album. I think that was the first album they did with him. And I think it's just a haunting, beautiful, rip-roaring. It covers every emotion, that song. It's got a balls-to-the-wall chorus, some absolutely stunning guitar playing from Mr. Morse, and it's got like a really haunting melody to it as well. So that is probably my favourite Deep Purple album, that Live at the Olympia. That said, could I live without Machine Head? Doubtful. Machine Head is my favourite Blackmore era album, and that Mark II lineup for me was the proper Deep Purple until we get to the Steve Morse era. You know, the whole sort of Glenn Hughes, David Coverdale, Tommy Bolin kind of period. Frankly, it just didn't really do it for me. So yeah, Live at the Olympia or Machine Head. There you go. Wonderwall and That's Entertainment by the Jam, same chords. No Nancy, I'm afraid. No, they're not. They do bear some similarities, but you couldn't. You could probably do a medley of the two, couldn't you? Oh, no, there's one. Vincent Doyle saying Top 5 Tuesday, top 5 hit songs with 3 chords. I noticed Rick Beato did a video on famous 2-chord songs recently, and you know, far be it from me to criticise Rick Beato, because I love his channel and he's a far bigger player in this game than I am. But he included Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. Now most of that song is 2 chords, but there's more. There's a middle section where there's, shock horror, a 3rd chord in there. Most of it is F and G all the way through, but there's an A minor crops up in the middle section. So yeah, 2-chord songs. That'll be. 3-chord songs. There's a lot to choose from. But I wonder if I could do a Rick Beato style video on 2-chord songs. Bears thinking about. I mean, what? Yeah, there's one particular 2-chord song that haunted me in the early 90s. I was in a band that I then left, and then joined another band that I didn't really join them. I was just playing with them as a stand-in for a while, and then I joined another band after that. This song followed me. It was, of course, Billy Ray Bloody Cyrus's "Achy Breaky Heart." That has a special circle of hell for that song. I really, really hate that song. It's just like every band, every time I left the band, and it was like, oh great, I don't have to play Achy Breaky Heart again, you know. And then suddenly say, oh, we're going to do this new song. What is it? Achy Breaky Heart. Oh no, here we go. But do a Rick Beato style video. I should do that, really, shouldn't I? Yeah, Buddy Holly. Oh, here we go. Let's put you up on screen, Mike. Hello, chaps. Nice to see you, Mike. I hope you're doing well, mate. And I just want to say a massive, massive congratulations to you on that sterling work you did on that Hendrix Strat series of videos you did. You know, I think you exposed something that was, well, for legal reasons, I can't say it was probably a scam. But it was certainly, you know, you uncovered something that didn't quite smell right there, and you weren't put off. And I imagine you got quite a lot of abuse for it. So kudos to you, mate. That was absolute sterling work. Oh, Bob Contreras is in. Got to agree with me. Achy Breaky Heart is the worst hit song in history. Yeah. Funnily enough, there's another one. There's another song that sort of followed me across a couple of bands in the late 90s as well. And I actually quite like it still to this day. Dance the Night Away, the Mavericks. It's just an E chord and a B chord, back and forth, but it just has a charm to it that I can't quite understand. And it's a really, really good album. The album it came from, called Trampoline. And the Mavericks were one of these bands that they were a one-hit wonder, supposedly, but they'd had an entire career just bubbling under the surface. They break through with that one big hit, and then boom, it's all over for them. Suddenly they're kind of not friends anymore, and they're not playing together anymore, which I think is really sad. But that album, Trampoline, some beautiful songs on that. Fool Number One, Dream River, Someone Should Tell Her. Just really good, nice country rock, slightly bluesy, slightly jazzy sort of stuff on there, with a real vintage charm to it. If you haven't heard it, it's well worth checking out. Just forget that it's that possibly kind of, you might think, I don't, but you might think that annoying novelty hit Dance the Night Away. It's another band I've been getting into as well, actually, recently, that you think of this band's name and you think of one song, and it's a song that you probably think, nah, not for me. Europe. Okay, mention Europe. What's the one song that you think of? It's The Final Countdown. And I don't know about you, but when did that come out? In sort of 1986. By about 1986, I'd heard that song quite enough times. Thank you very much. It was just an annoying poodle perm spandex. Everything that's wrong about 80s rock music is that song. But their later stuff, check out an album called War of Kings. It's fantastic. It's just good old-fashioned, grunty, kind of dirt underneath its fingernails, good old grunty rock and roll. It's got bits of Sabbath, bits of Priest about it, and it doesn't have that kind of spandex poodle perm L'Oreal Max Factor sheen to it that you expect with that band. They've and it's a recent album, I think, 2016 or 2017, War of Kings by Europe. Just go and listen to it and forget all of your prejudices that you might have about, based on that one song from 36 years ago. It's really well worth listening to. Annoying earworm songs, top loader cover of Dancing in the Moonlight. Ah, yes. Who did the original of that? And don't say Thin Lizzy, because that's a different song. That's a different Dancing in the Moonlight. But I remember when that came out thinking, yeah, that's a cover, but I could never remember who it was by. Wasn't it somebody like Johnny Nash or someone like that? Thank you, Johnny Random. You're a gentleman and a scholar. That will go to Zoe's place. You're an absolute star, mate. I just need to make a note here, actually. First of all, Ian Clark is getting the runner-up prize. That's the TM300. And James Stanway is getting the star prize. And Johnny Random has donated a £5. I will just tell you, by the way, that when any of you chaps chuck some money in the super chat for Zoe's place, you all think, like Johnny thinks there, that he's given a £5 at the Zoe's place. You have given a £5 at the Zoe's place, but unfortunately, YouTube do take a cut. The money that you pay via the super chat is the money that goes to Zoe's place. I always just make that up because I think it's only fair to do that. I understand that YouTube facilitate this and make it work and handle it, the payments and everything. But if you're making a donation to Zoe's Place, don't think that some of that money is going to YouTube. It is, but I kind of make it good out of my own pocket, because, as I say, it's dwarfed by the by what I earn from doing these videos and stuff. Anyway, it's just my little way of putting of doing my little bit. Thank you. So what we've been talking about in the chat. Let's just scroll up, see what I've been missing. Bottleneck Bob likes the Mavericks. Where's Joey Tempest now, says Steve Entwistle. He's still fronting Europe. They're still, well, certainly as of when the album War of Kings came out, which was only a couple of 3 years ago. He was still frontman for Europe. And Bottleneck Bob is asking, what do people think of Samantha Fish? Yes, she can play, can't she? She has a fan base, and I can't say that I've heard enough to kind of have an informed opinion. But what I have seen, which is usually just when people, kind of bring her music into lessons and stuff, then it's, she knows her way around a fretboard. And I just think it's cool that somebody that isn't, let's say, a gentleman of a certain age, that there are no shortages of blokes of a certain age with bald heads and beer guts, kind of extolling the value of blues guitar. And that the fact that it's that demographic of me, basically, people like me, who are extolling the virtues of any genre of music, is enough to put people off that, because it's it is a kind of generational thing. I just think it's great that anybody that it proves that this is a genre, that blues and blues rock is a genre of music that doesn't really kind of fit into a demographic boundary, really. So stuff like what was she called? Oh, I did a solo of hers not that long ago. I can't remember her name, but another female guitar player, and her name is on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Robster Boy and Phil B, you are absolute stars. Thank you very much. But yeah, I just think it's great, like when a young, up and coming, younger guitar player comes through and starts playing blues. I think it keeps the genre alive. It was the same, back in the late 80s, early 90s, when Jeff Healey broke through, and then Joe Bonamassa and Kenny Wayne Shepherd and guys like that. It just proves that this is that good old-fashioned rocking guitar music, blues rock. It's not going anywhere. There's always somebody that will light the flame for it. Joanne Shaw Taylor, Bob. Yes, thank you. It's terrible when you get to this age, isn't it? Excuse me, I need some more memory juice. Where are we? So once again, everyone, I'll try and get the requisite flake head for you. Joanne Shaw Taylor, yes, thank you everyone for reminding me. It's I can't imagine why my memory isn't what it was. He said sarcastically. Oh, this you might be able to shout flake at me with this one. Yeah, that's not a bad effort, is it? Yes, there we go. Flake. Who's getting Bully's special prize? Again, that's oh, I've gone out of focus there, or was it just my eyes? Bully's special. Yeah, that's a real UK reference. An obscure game show, darts-based game show from the 80s. Where are we? What have I missed? On the Ken Bruce show on BBC Radio 2, Ed Sheeran says Taylor Swift is the best songwriter in the world today. I'll have what he's on. Well, to be honest, I mean, Taylor Swift, the phenomenon of Taylor Swift is something that has largely passed me by because it's just, I've worked out a couple of songs for students that wanted to learn them and thought, well, yeah, all right, C, A minor, F, G, fair enough. Nothing wrong with that, but, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Michael. You're a gentleman. I don't. The quality or otherwise of Taylor Swift's songwriting isn't something I feel qualified to comment on because it's just not a genre of music that I pay a lot of attention to. The songs that I've seen have been okay, but it's, I don't know. It's I wouldn't like to have an opinion one way or another. Yeah, I'd like to be a quid behind Taylor Swift in the bank. Yeah. So, the Time Prophet, Bullseye. Yes. Yeah, that was the Bully Special Prize reference there. Game show in the 80s in the UK called Bullseye, darts-based game show. You had to be there. So, was that took? Adele is better. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I've said this before, Mike. Adele, she's got a fine set of pipes on her. She can certainly. Oh, thank you, James. You're a gentleman. I don't have a problem with Adele. It's just I think that she's got pretty much an open goal to aim at these days. I think if Adele as an artist had been around in the 70s, she would have, when you think of the great singers, that was an era of singer-songwriters. And if we just narrow it down to just female singer-songwriters, you had Carole King, you had Joan Baez, you had Joni Mitchell, you had, from sort of a more pop country field, you had Karen Carpenter. I can't think that there's that many kind of female singer-songwriters with a big voice like Adele around nowadays. So she's just tapping into that sort of that market for people who like that kind of power ballad, female vocal, big voice kind of thing. It was like when Whitney Houston came around in the sort of, was it 86 or thereabouts, when Whitney kind of broke through. There was just nobody sounded like her. And so consequently she had that market all to herself. And, so I don't want to diminish Adele's achievements or anything. She's not somebody I choose to listen to a lot, but I can appreciate the fact that, her records aren't plastered with auto-tune is a big tick in the plus column from me. But, it's just, if I want to listen to that sort of stuff, I'm of an age where I can fondly remember, Stevie Nicks and, Karen Carpenter and Joan Baez and, all of the people I grew up listening to. So that's what I tend to retreat into. I think I read somewhere that it is a proven fact that once you get past about your mid-30s, your capacity to kind of take on new music diminishes exponentially. So maybe there's a little bit of that at work as well, because believe it or not, chaps, I am past my mid-30s. Where are you? What's been going on there? John, long gone have the days when people write their own songs instead of a team of 20 writers behind them. Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, I think it's because, for better or worse, we live in a society now where, or we live in a world now where, things have to be more instant. Once upon a time, a band would get signed and they would get like a 3-album deal or something like that. And if they hadn't kind of broke through by the time that their third album, then the record company was starting to think, well, maybe. Nowadays, it's like, you know, it's like you get a one record deal, and it's like that song has to be a hit, and that's purely because, you know, the music industry doesn't have the money in it anymore that it used to. You know, once upon a time, a record label would have a huge, you know, kind of petty cash that they could, you know, kind of bankroll artists with and develop an artist until they were, you know, a big name. But nowadays, everything's got to be an instant hit to produce an instant return. That there isn't that budget there to, you know, to kind of develop artists. And I think that is sad in a way, but it is the way of the world. And you know, you might as well complain about the fact that the rain falls from the sky. It's just a fact of life. Billy Paul says it's all been downhill since Frampton Comes Alive. Oh, sorry, don't you hate that when you click on something and the website just kind of moves on just an instant, just in that split second between you clicking and it happening? Yeah, it's all been downhill since Frampton Comes Alive, says Billy. Well, if you like Frampton Comes Alive, I've got a solo analysis from that album coming up relatively soon, the next couple of weeks. So keep your eyes open for that. And no, it's not Show Me the Way. I've already done that one years ago. So keep your eyes open for. Go and check that out. Okay. I know you're in the market for studio monitors. Got my PreSonus Eris 3.5 today. Highly recommended. Bears thinking about, mate. Yes. It's probably going to be the summertime before I get round to doing any of that, because usually when the kids break up for school, summer holidays, business tends to go a little bit quiet for me. So I'm going to kind of book a few days off then when it's quiet anyway to redo this room and get a new kind of setup organised. So that will be something I'll be looking to do sort of June, July sort of time, like sometime around about then. Have you heard of Eli Paperboy Reed? Great soul voice. No, I can't say I have, but I will make a note to go and check it out, or him out. I'm not sure if is that. I do apologise if I've just committed a faux pas there, but yeah, I will check out that name. Thank you very much. New music is naff and brand new music. New music is naff, not the band New Music. There, okay, fair enough, Deco dude. Have you had a beer or two, mate? Where are we? Okay, let's see what I've been missing in the chat. Craig saying, I wouldn't know anything about pop music today. I'm all about heavy music, shred, jazz, or the blues. Yeah, well, that's it. This is an honest statement from me. It's literally 36 years since I could tell you what song was at number one. The last number one record I remember thinking, oh, that's got to number one, has it? Was when there was a re-release of Jackie Wilson Says, not Jackie Wilson Says, I've got Jackie Wilson on the brain from that thing earlier, of Jackie Wilson's Reet Petite. Remember that was when that became a hit again in 86. That was the last song that I can confidently say, yep, I remember that being number one. That was number one. I wouldn't have a clue of any artist name in the top 40 nowadays, let alone I don't even know that the top 40 still exists as a thing, because there are that many different ways of measuring, kind of music sales. It's just not a world I'm plugged into. So, I don't pretend to be down with the kids, as you say, because there's nothing more pathetic than a middle-aged bloke pretending to kind of know what the kids are all about. It's just, it doesn't kind of it's not me. Oh dear me, that's tasting rather good tonight. What's this? Geordie guitarist. All songs her are full of heartache. Seems like she's getting let down, or they're just easy songs to write. I believe you're talking about Adele there. I wonder who else you could have been talking about. Yeah, it is. If I do have a criticism of Adele, it's the has she ever written or sung a happy song? It's all. It does all seem to be a bit glum and kind of lovelorn kind of stuff, doesn't it? But maybe that's again. We come back to that. Maybe she's written a bunch of happy, upbeat songs, but those in the corridors of power have said we need sad songs. Sad songs sell. So who knows? Where are we? Let's see what. You're not off to Ibiza anytime soon. I don't think. Let me tell you this. Not because of just the music thing in Ibiza. It just ain't my kind of place to go for rest and relaxation and holidays and what have you. It's just not me. I have been in my entire life, which is now spans 55 years, I have been on one sun, sea and sand holiday in my life, and I hated it. I mean, I'm a typical pasty white Northern English male. I don't do well in warm weather. I really can't see the point in saving up all year round to go somewhere that's even warmer than the hottest temperatures we get in the UK. No, thank you very much. I hate it when there's nothing to when it's just too hot to do anything but just lay there and sweat. No, so I'd give me a nice kind of muddy hillside in Cumbria in the Lake District that I can go and do some fell walking or something like that. That's more my cup of tea. Nice cosy pub at the end of it with a good pint of beer. Yeah, that's my idea of a nice holiday. Not lying on a sun lounger. Young people can always relate to breakup songs. I suppose there's some truth in that. Where are we? What else we got in the dying moments of the game? You have to cool off in a bar in Ibiza. Yeah, well, you see, I'd rather just, I mean, me and the missus, we're probably going to have a week away this year. First time since 2015 that we'll have been anywhere. Actually, no, that's not true. We had a little break about 2018 or thereabouts. But, our first proper holiday this year, and we're going to the Lake District, and if it rains, it rains. That's when you find a cosy little pub and kind of snuggle up by the fire and read a good book and have conversation. And, it's not for me all about, swimming in the Mediterranean or, in the swimming pool or something. I just can't be bothered. It's not my cup of tea. Going somewhere in the winter, warm in the winter, is such a tonic. Well, each to their own, mate. My mother used to do that. When she was alive, her and a boyfriend, who was a great bloke, Harry. They used to go off to Malta every year in January, and they used to love it, and and it was ridiculously cheap as well. It was cheaper to go for a month in January than it was to go for 2 weeks in like high summer. So they used to love going. It was just a great time for them. Give them something to look forward to after the whole kind of anticlimax of Christmas and all of that. Once all that's kind of settled, and January's a bleak month, so they used to go off to Malta and used to love it. I'm just saying it's not for me. That's all. Anyway, chaps, we've been on about an hour, and I'm getting hungry for me curry, so I'm going to love you and leave you and say thank you once again, everyone, for turning up. 178 of you so far today, and a massive congratulations to Ian Clark for winning the runner-up prize of the Behringer Tube Amp Modeler, and to James Stanway for winning the star prize of the Behringer Tube Amp Modeler, the Sonicake Twiggy Blues, and the Behringer interface. And All it remains for me to do now is to once again thank everybody for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern lad talk cobblers for an hour. It's been a blast, as it always is, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye now.